Hi, and welcome to this first Weird Bits. This is Weird Bits episode number 1, and in this series, when I find unusual hardware, I'll just share it with you. I haven't been exposed to all of this before, so when I run across it, maybe it'll be useful for you as well. This first episode is going to be about unusual washer hardware that's available. All of this I got from McMaster Car, and the first type of washers we're going to look at are called Belleville washers, and they come in a variety of shapes and sizes. Some of them have serrations on them to grab better. Other ones are smooth, like all of these. They come in different diameters. These are all 1/4 inch, but they come in different outer diameters. They also come in different strengths of the spring or the amount of force it takes to deflect them. You'll notice it's cupped, as are all of them. And you buy them based on the diameter you're interested in and the amount of force it's going to take to flatten these guys out. The ones with serrations obviously will grab the nuts better than the smoother ones. The smoother ones can be used simply as springs or more advanced as preloading of a screw if you need a very certain amount of preload guaranteed. You can also do that with a torque wrench on a nut, but if you're not interested in that amount of torque and you want it to stay in place, the Belleville washer might be a good solution. Another interesting feature of these washers is they're stackable. So if this one were 100 pounds to deflect and you want 200 pounds, you'd simply stack another one in the same direction and let them stack. The more of them you put on top of each other in the same direction, the force adds in order to flatten them out. So if these were 100 pounds, this would be 400 pounds preload. Now, if you're interested in more spring diameter, but the same amount of force, then you alternate them. And you can stack them up going back and forth, like I'm doing here. And what this allows is when the stack compresses, you get a much greater spring distance, but the force it takes is the same. So if these were 100 pounds, this whole stack would compress with 100 pounds force, but have much longer travel if that's what you were interested in, if you just want to use them as a spring. Another kind of interesting washer, and I've never run across these before until very recently, is a variation on the Belleville washer. And you might have seen these. They're called wave washers. And these washers, again, are 1/4 20. But they have a continuous sine wave pressed into the outside of the outside diameter. And that allows these to also act as a spring. So if you stick this guy on here and put a regular nut and tighten it down, it also will act like a spring to preload. And these also come in various forces or strengths for deflection. One final type of washer is the serrated safety washer, and they are cupped and they are hardened and they have serrations in the top to bite in material on one side. Oh, both sides. So these guys can be used in place of a traditional lock washer if you are interested. Last but not least is an interesting type of washer arrangement here. They're hardened and they're called Nordlock, and it's a patented design. So the outer parts of these washers, they come in a pair, are serrated to bite into material on both sides, a nut on top and the base material on the bottom. Inside, they have a little bit of adhesive and some one-way ramp stair steps. And what they do is they allow tightening in one direction, but resist going in the opposite direction. So when you really crank down on the nut, initially they're going to spin past each other until you reach final tightness. When that happens, they don't want to go backwards against each other anymore, and the serrations are going to bite in the material. These are great if you don't have room for a nylon nut or something, or you want a really secure vibration resistant nut. And that about covers it. This is an interesting series, and as I run across more of these types of things, I'll share them with you. Hopefully you find it interesting, and hopefully you'll be back. Thanks for watching.